Good morning to you, our lovely viewers. Welcome to another exciting edition of the Camnet TV Breakfast Show of today being the 25th of October 2023. I hope you did have a lovely day yesterday where we were celebrating our 59th independence anniversary as a country. I hope you did enjoy. But anyway, this is time to get back from our comfort zone and, ensure that, Patrick Soko, we prepare for the day. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not here alone. I'm in studio. I'm joined by my lovely colleague, Patrick Soko.
Morning, Council. How are you?
I don't know what is happening.
I'll
with
give
my
you an
voice.
injunction for a while so that I get to tell the people about the positivity for this day.
Yeah.
So we are going positive as usual. Miriam Kayembandai. And I know she's just having a little something on the throat, but it will be cleared soon.
I think, I think I was so excited yesterday. I did enjoy my day. I think, so I'm trying to, get the vibe going.
But why do I seem not to believe you when you say you enjoyed your Independence Day, given that all the time you were here?
I was working, but doesn't mean that I didn't enjoy my day.
That exactly. Miriam, some of these days you need to spend time with your family. Some of these time you need to relax your mind, but every time you're just working.
Yeah, but when I get home, I do relax.
Now you agree with me when I say, why don't I feel like believing you? Because every day you are here and you are excited at the same environment. Sometimes it's independence. Every time, don't think about those court cases in your head, those intros you are thinking about, the studies, clear your mind. It's independence, That's what I mean. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but all the same, we have to, maybe she did create a space within her time.
I did.
But it is always important that independence, we put everything aside and also reflect on the liberation struggle because it did not come cheaply. It came because others sacrificed for us. And every time we have independence, let's not put politics ahead. We should always remember that someone else sacrificed for us. And what do we do then? We have to build the momentum and make sure that we continue to live in a country that is united. And independence yesterday came with a lot of surprises as well. And a surprising event is an event involving the former ruling party, the PF, Miriam.
Yes, exactly. Like we predicted, Patrick Soko, when we came on the breakfast show yesterday, we did say, there's need for the Patriotic Front to ensure that it selects its leaders before this confusion arises. And yesterday we did, see that expelled Patriotic Front presidential aspirant, Mr. SAMPA, holding a convention where he has been, he has won the presidential seat as the party president. So now we have seen that he's now being addressed as the party president of the Patriotic Front. So we are yet to see what other things will unfold, but we are aware that the other camp, where the other leadership, we have seen that information and publicity chairperson, Mr. Emmanuel Mamba, is set to, to meet the Registrar of Society this morning at 10. And we are also informed yesterday that Mr. SAMPA will be going at the Registrar of Society to be addressed there. So we are yet to see how these two things...
Various events continue to unfold. So we'll unpack that story pertaining to the PF a little later on this program. But to get started, Miriam, first of all, let's start on a health note.
Exactly. Let's see what the doctors have for us this morning.
Hi, good morning and welcome to the health segment on the breakfast show. I am Dr. Nakwiana Mfaya. So this week we have been talking about diabetes, and yesterday we talked about some of the signs and symptoms of diabetes. We say that people who have diabetes would have symptoms of eating too much, more than they usually do, or urinating frequently, and also drinking more water than they usually do. People with diabetes may also have other symptoms of weight loss and eye complications and high blood pressure. So today we are going to talk about how diabetes is diagnosed and how it's managed in the hospital or even at home. So when you go to the clinic or go to the hospital and you feel like you have some of these symptoms of diabetes, they would usually have to do a random blood sugar. And this random blood sugar tests your blood. And if your random blood sugar is on the higher side, or it's more than 140 grams per deciliter, then you'd be considered as having prediabetes. So it would have to be done on several occasions, where they would have to test your blood sugar more than once to be able to ascertain that you actually have diabetes. There are some other tests that are done, such as fasting blood sugar, and this is where you fast from midnight until the following day, and then your blood sugar is checked, and if it's very high, then it means that you might be having prediabetes, and if your blood sugar continues to be high, your fasting blood sugar continues to be high for some time, then you'd be diagnosed as having diabetes. So that is how diabetes is diagnosed. There's some other tests that are done in the hospital, and when those tests are done, they can also ascertain that you have diabetes. So how can diabetes be managed, or is it curable? Is there a treatment for diabetes? So diabetes is not curable. There isn't a specific cure that you can take and diabetes is gone and you are not diabetic anymore. But it can be managed, and there are some medications that are given in the hospital that can be used to control your blood sugar and to control your diabetes. So once you have been diagnosed with diabetes in the hospital, you'll be started on some medications. And with these medications, you have to continuously take them every day. And as you take your medications, you have to make sure that you monitor your blood sugar as well, because your blood sugar can change in the morning, afternoon, evening, it changes. So you have to monitor your blood sugar every day, at least before you eat, and before you eat, whether it's your main meal or your snack, at least check your blood sugar so that you know how much it is, and then you eat and you take your medication. So it's important that you learn how to take your blood sugar on your own, because it has to be done even while you're at home. You will not only be doing this at the hospital, but even at home, you have to know how to take your blood sugar and check your blood sugar so that you know how much sugar is there in your body. And you can also be writing the blood, the results in a diary, so that you present it to the doctor when you go to the hospital. And once you do that, it's easy for them to be able to monitor how your blood sugar is being controlled at home. If your medication that they're giving you is controlling your blood sugar, or if there's need to change the medication or to increase how much medicine you're taking at home. So it's important that you know how to take your blood sugar even while you're at home. Then when it comes to the management of diabetes, there's something called HbA1c, and this is a test that is done to show whether you are managing your blood sugar well at home. It's able to tell whether you have been managing your blood sugar well for the past 3 months. So it's important that you stick to your medication, take your medications as prescribed, and so that your HbA1c can be in the normal range. Because if it's on the higher side, it means you are not controlling your blood sugar well. So these are just some of the treatments that are used in the management of diabetes. And so you need to discuss some of the treatments with your doctor and learn how you can manage your diabetes better even while it's here at home. The other thing in the management of diabetes is your diet. Your diet needs to be controlled. You need to be able to eat foods that are wholesome. You don't need to eat foods that have too much sugar to prevent you from having high levels of blood sugar in your body. So you need to be able to work with a dietitian as well, who will be able to guide you on how much you should eat, what you should eat at which particular time. Most of the patients that have diabetes usually do not know exactly what to eat and how much to eat, because that's very important when you're managing your blood sugar, because you can be taking your medications, but if you're not controlling your diet and eating the right food, then taking is not going to be effective. So it's important that you manage your diet as well. So the other thing that you can do in the management of diabetes is being active. So you need to be able to exercise and keep your body active during the day to be able to utilize and take up the blood sugar that you're taking, or take up the sugars that you're eating, and also reduce on the insulin resistance, because we say that your muscles are not taking up the glucose because they are not getting sensitized. So when you work out and exercise, your muscles become more sensitive to the glucose, and so you'll be able to take up more glucose from your body. So that is how you can manage diabetes, and make sure that you follow your prescribed medications and do as your doctors and your caregivers are prescribing for you. Then the other thing is that diabetes is treatable, but it's not curable. At some point, your diabetes may become controlled, but it doesn't mean that you are no longer diabetic or you should stop taking your medication. So you have to keep on taking your medication and stick to what you have been prescribed at the hospital. So that is what we had for today, and that is what we talked about today. I do hope you have learned something. We have talked about how you can manage diabetes, and that you should take your medications as you have been prescribed at the hospital, and also make sure that you're eating the right food. So you should be able to work with a dietitian to show you exactly how you should eat, and also keep active and take your medications continuously, because diabetes doesn't stop. It can only be controlled, but it doesn't get cured. So be sure to tune in again tomorrow at the same time on the Breakfast Show on Camnet TV, and thank you so much for watching.
Well, thank you for staying with us on the Camnet Breakfast Show. That was our health corner, and we move on to look at the money market so that we can understand how the kwacha is faring this morning. Now, $1 is buying at 21 kwacha 5.1 ngwe and selling at 21 kwacha 9.4 ngwe. The Great British Pound is buying at 26 kwacha 1.5 ngwe and selling at 26 kwacha 6.6 ngwe. The euro is buying at 22 kwacha 8.80 ngwe and selling at 23 kwacha 2.5 ngwe. The South African rand is buying at 1 kwacha 1.3 ngwe and selling at 1 kwacha 1.6 ngwe. So those are your money market updated this morning on the 25th of October 2023 at 07:14. And on the buying aspect of the kwacha against $1, you are seeing that it continues to depreciate, and that we see that it has maintained but remain at for 2 days at 21 kwacha 51 ngwe on the buying side, and on the selling side it has also maintained at 21 kwacha 94 ngwe or 94 ngwe, but that gets to show how the kwacha has been failing for this month. It hasn't been doing very fine, and it is going towards 22, which will be unfortunate. So we hope that measures will be put in place by the authorities to just make sure that the currency stabilizes. We see that this trajectory is not good and sustainable for this economy, and we can only hope for the best, Miriam.
Exactly, we can only hope for the best, like you said, Patrick Soko. But just moving forward, a reminder to our viewers that we have now officially opened our phone lines. Please do get in touch with us and be part of our conversation this morning. And those who are watching us live on Facebook, drop us those messages. We are looking at all matters surrounding to the wrangles that are currently happening in the opposition Patriotic Front Party. We did see yesterday that expelled PF official Mr. SAMPA held a party national conference where he was elected as the party president of the Patriotic Front Party. And just moving forward, Patrick Soko, let's get to look at the story and just see what transpired at Mulungushi yesterday when Patriotic Front presidential aspiring candidate.
What about if we start with the story on Sunday, where we saw, first of all, Mr. SAMPA being expelled from the party.
Yes.
Then he went on to say the expulsion was illegitimate because he has there's a pending injunction, and he has already taken legal action against Mr. Lubinda and others for taking that action. They did. He's been suspended twice. He's suspended while in the suspension again suspended. I hope you understand what I mean.
Yes.
You are in suspension, then you challenge through the court. While you're still serving your suspension, you have been suspended further. Okay. So now, then he also reacted with a party convention that we saw yesterday. But we have to start with the activity on Sunday, where we saw the PF did their central committee meeting, made quite a number of resolutions, and among them was the expulsion of presidential aspirant SAMPA, as well as the former defense minister, Mr. Davis Chama, and another one was Robert Chavinga, also Davis Mungandu, Chama South MP, and for Robert Chavinga, who is the Mafinga constituency member of parliament, he was part of the meeting that was Mr. SAMPA was addressing yesterday during the convention, and he said he was putting his vote on Mr. SAMPA as a parliamentarian. And we know we are going to that analysis we've been making, Miriam Kaimba, but we'll get deeper into that. But let's start with the Sunday event, when we show you where we are coming from as events unfold in the former ruling party.
Twists and turns have continued to be experienced in the Patriotic Front PF on its road to the long-awaited party general conference. In the latest incident, the party has suspended former Defense Minister Davis Chama and Davison Mungandu, SAMPA and Robert Chavinga, Chama South, Matero and Mafinga members of parliament, respectively, during its central committee meeting held in Lusaka Sunday. On September 15th, PF presidential aspiring candidate SAMPA stormed the PF secretariat and held a briefing protesting against the appointment of Lafayette Nakachinda as new PF SG, calling it unconstitutional and illegal. Opening the meeting, acting president Mr. Rubinda lamented over what he terms indiscipline from senior party members.
We ourselves must treat each other with mutual respect and deal with matters of this party with the highest sense of responsibility and honesty. No use to just be a number. No, we don't want numbers anymore. We want members. And once you're a member, you are committed to the common cause of the others. The idea of Mr.
Rubinda has since vowed to ensure that discipline is restored in the party. When contacted for a comment, Mr. Chama, who is among the suspended, said his suspension is a desperate move to silence him for advocating for the hosting of the party general conference.
And most of the party members are becoming frustrated because of non-implementations of what we set ourselves to do. So there are people who are doing machinations to the effect that they don't want a general conference because they are pushing very hard to convince the former president to come back to active politics. And the former president has continuously resisted. And personally, I've come out in the open.
For Camnet TV News, Hafias Kaptula, Lusaka. Matero Member of Parliament and PF aspiring presidential candidate Mao SAMPA has held the PF Extraordinary General Conference in Lusaka. This comes barely 3 days after the party Central Committee announced his suspension alongside National Chairperson Davis Chama, Davison Mungandu, Chama South Member of Parliament, and Mafinga Member of Parliament Robert Chavinga. During the event, which was held under heavy police presence, Mr. SAMPA's supporters castigated the current PF leadership. In attendance, Mafinga lawmaker Mr. Chavinga declared his support for Mr. SAMPA and took part in the vote where the Matero lawmaker was pitted against other 3 candidates. Addressing the delegates, Mr. SAMPA vowed to rebrand the party and ensure it returns to its glory days with a national character.
More money in your pockets. Me, my manifesto, if you elect me as president of PF, it will be the same one but ikaichinja. Ikava for lower taxes, more jobs, and more money in everyone's pockets.
Reacting to the convention, PF Chairperson for Information and Publicity, Emmanuel Mwamba, has accused the State and United Party for National Development, UPND top leadership, of sponsoring the event to destabilize the former ruling party by forming parallel structures. Regardless, experts such as historian Professor Bizek Pili have warned that PF wrangles will persist due to its failure to hold the party's general conference after former President Edgar Lungu made known his retirement from active politics. For now, one wonders what happens to the huge nomination fees of 200,000 kwacha that were paid by the remaining 8 PF aspiring presidential candidates, with the event having been held. For Camnet TV News, Hafias Kaptula, Lusaka. Renowned historian Professor Bizek Pili says the Patriotic Front PF will only turn to normalcy after holding of its party convention. After promising to hold its convention by June 2022, the current leadership is uncertain of when the event will be held.
To commemorate the demise of President Michael Chilufya. So even if we were to try and hold the conference, it wouldn't be on the 28th of October.
Reacting to the suspension of Patriotic Front National Chairperson Davis Chama and Davis Mungandu, Mao SAMPA and Robert Chavinga, Chama South, Matero and Mafinga members of parliament respectively, Professor Pili argues that the only way the former ruling party will see peace is through a convention.
Senior members of the party have been suspended, and they are saying these suspensions are by word of mouth. We have not received letters. And they are saying you cannot run affairs of a political party like that. So, in short, these wrangles are as a result of the party itself not coming together, the senior people, party members and leaders at various levels in the provinces, in the districts, in the constituencies, to say, let's have a convention.
Speaking in an interview with Camnet News, Professor Pili has wondered how some party officials are referring to former President Edgar Lungu as party president, whilst the party has an acting president.
We have now in place Given Luinda, Honorable Given Luinda, who is the acting president. Now, there's no way one can be talking about Edgar Chagbalungu as the president of the party when there's an acting president recognized by the PF itself. What needs to be done is for them to go to a convention and elect leaders. Now, because they are not doing that, the wrangles are perpetuating, the wrangles are continuing.
For Camnet TV News, Hafias Kaptula, Lusaka.
We know what we pass through. You know, even to stay in prison for 1 year, that's the greatest torture you can ever have, you understand? But 2 hours, 3 hours that I was tortured, they should do, I think it's high time that they should reflect. Self-introspection is very important in life. When we have given them this chance of talking as a political party, it's because we want them to exercise their political democracy. Okay? Because it's a democratic country. So let them just exercise it in a normal way and do the checks and balances properly. Not because now they want sympathy, then they can even start buying or making up stories like that. It's very wrong. PF, it's gone for good. It will never come back.
Yeah, well, as UPND, we have received the suspension of 2 members of Parliament of the Patriotic Front and also another official of the Patriotic Front with great concern. We feel that this suspension is a direct affront to our parliamentary freedoms because it undermines the very foundations of freedom of speech and freedom of expression by members of Parliament. And therefore, we find this to be living testament of how intolerant our colleagues are. This is a classical example of political intolerance which is undermining our democracy. We feel that if this is left unchecked, it is going to lead to an unwanted situation that might end up in unnecessary by-elections, therefore causing the taxpayer to lose money through those by-elections that might arise.
Ontario Member of Parliament and PF aspiring presidential candidate Mao SAMPA has held the PF Extraordinary General Conference in Lusaka. This comes barely 3 days after the party Central Committee announced his suspension alongside National Chairperson Davis Chama, Davison Mungandu, Chama South Member of Parliament, and Mafinga Member of Parliament Robert Chavinga. During the event, which was held under heavy police presence, Mr. SAMPA's supporters castigated the current PF leadership. In attendance, Mafinga lawmaker Mr. Chavinga declared his support for Mr. SAMPA and took part in the vote where the material lawmaker was pitted against other 3 candidates. Addressing the delegates, Mr. SAMPA vowed to rebrand the party and ensure it returns to its glory days with a national character.
More money in your pockets. Me, my manifesto, if you elect me as president of PF, it will be the same one but ikaichinja. Ikava for lower taxes, more jobs, and more money in everyone's pockets.
Reacting to the convention, PF Chairperson for Information and Publicity, Emmanuel Mwamba, has accused the State and United Party for National Development, UPND top leadership of sponsoring the event to destabilize the former ruling party by forming parallel structures. Regardless, experts such as historian Professor Bizek Piri have warned that PF wrangles will persist due to its failure to hold the party's general conference after former President Edgar Lungu made known his retirement from active politics. For now, one wonders what happens to the huge nomination fees of 200,000 kwacha that were paid by the remaining 8 PF aspiring presidential candidates, with the event having been held. For Camnet TV News, Afias Kaptula, Lusaka.
So there you have it. That's a story that we are focusing on today on the Camnet Breakfast Show. And we are looking at the former ruling party, the Patriotic Front, and Zambia's largest opposition political party in the country, the PF. And we saw that a lot of events have unfolded this week in suspension and counter-suspensions.
And now, yesterday, we did see Mr. Gavin Lubinda issuing a statement that Mr. Mao SAMPA has been expelled from the party because of indiscipline. So now, Patrick Soko, a thing we are left, to be put on the middle and question, like, what exactly is happening. Now we have two parties, okay, as it stands, because Mr. Mao SAMPA, he's being addressed as the new elected party president. Then we have Mr. Given Lubinda there being addressed as the vice president of the party. And then we did see that yesterday, after Mr. Mao SAMPA being elected as the president of the party, he did expel Mr. Given Lubinda from the party. So these are some of the confusion that we have continued to see. And quite interesting, Patrick Soko, we have seen another interesting announcement by the party chairperson for information, Mr. Emmanuel Banda, saying that today saying that today the party will be at the Registrar of Society. And again, we have seen that the new elected party president, Mr. Mao SAMPA, saying that he's going to address the media today.
Yes, so we have two political parties that will be addressing the press today.
At 10 hours.
One,
10 hours.
The PF led by Mao SAMPA will be holding a press conference at 10 hours. And the PF led by the acting president, Given Lubinda, will also be engaging the Registrar of Society, where they will be expected to address the media at 10 hours. So these two political parties now will be challenging each other. But Miriam Kaimba, I think now, you remember that we were here analyzing this and we did predict this outcome.
Yes, we did
we did say that if the PF is going to go not to learn from what other parties did in the past, then they will end up with a similar fate. Because this is what we are seeing here. Because now, they will be addressing Mr. SAMPA as a party president. Again, and we saw this happening with Hari Kalaba and Judith Kabemba. We saw this happening with Nevas Mumba and Felix Mutati. We saw it with the Saboy Mbwela and Mr. Kafumba. So now, if you look at this, and now that Mr. SAMPA has also been expelled now, other issues are coming in pertaining to the court processes, because we are going to see injunctions, and we are seeing that if provided the PF wins in terms of the expulsion of Mr. SAMPA from the party, it means that we are going to have a by-election in Matelo constituency. Because according to the 2016 constitution, one of the things that can lead to a by-election, Miriam Kamba, is where a member of parliament is expelled as provided in the clause 2E. The member of parliament loses the seat until the expulsion and is confined by the court, except where the member of parliament does not challenge the expulsion in court, and the period prescribed for the challenge lapses. The member of parliament shall vacate the seat in the National Assembly. So you see, so we did manage to cure the aspect of us as a country not going for a by-election in the case of a presidential election, or in a case where a president dies or they are unable to function their duties as a president. We have the running mate. But in the case of members of parliament, we have a problem there, because we did not cure that very problem. So we still need to be looking at constitutional reforms, Miriam Kaemba, to make sure that this is also addressed, because
yes.
by-elections are a costly undertaking to a country that is grappling with high debt levels. So in case you want to join the conversation, our dear viewers, you can do so by giving us that call. We want to hear from you regarding the PF wrangles that continue to deepen by the day. In case you are not able to do so, you can also reach us via our Facebook page, and we want to hear from you. What do you make of these maneuvers that are happening in the former ruling party and Zambia's largest opposition political party? What do you make of these actions, where we are now seeing two factions, and that's what we saw for other political parties?
Yes, and you know, the worry is, immediately, according to what we have witnessed, Patrick Soko, it becomes very hard for a party, you know, to progress and go ahead and form government when you have these two factions, because the other camp will claim that they are the legitimate owner of the party. So these are the kind of confusion that, you know, people were saying that, you know, it's better for the opposition Patriotic Front, the former ruling party, to go ahead and ensure that they hold their convention. And I think the delay for the party not to hold their convention has led to this. You know, a lot of people were calling that, you know, these people should hold their convention. And like you can see, a lot of people, even those who were expelled on Sunday, were saying maybe our suspension is coming from because we were advocating that we go for a convention, and other people were championing that the former Republican president should come back and take the position of president for the party. But we did see that previously he did announce that, you know, he's no longer active he's no longer part of the active politics. He did take his
but the politicians do change.
He did resign.
But you and I have covered stories where politicians have said, people want me.
But anyway,
are you agreeing?
He's on record, so we'll get with whatever is on record right now. So we'll go with whatever is on record.
So, but things in the future may change.
Things, yes, I agree with you. Things might change, but he's on record saying that he's no longer in active politics. But we have seen that people, among them the likes of the former Deputy Secretary General Mubipi, calling that he should return back. But anyway, let's pick this call. We'll continue with our discussion, Patrick.
Hello, you are through to the Camnet Breakfast Show. Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, your name and where you are calling us from?
This is Sonda. I'm calling from Nampundwe.
Nampundwe. Good to know that Nampundwe is following. You can go ahead with your contribution, Mr. Msonda.
Oh, yes, thank you. Thank you so much, again.
Yes.
Personally, I'm not that one.
Yes.
But again, there's some of the things that are so important to the country. Looking at PF is the largest opposition party. But what is happening recently is not something to be happy about. I think my main advice to PF is that we need to go for a convention. Because in the first place, they got those relations with Ghana. But instead of them proceeding with the third process, they are not being done. So in the process of done, they are inviting some other unusual processions, like what happened yesterday. So they are more like confusing, the country, so to say. So if we let this thing continue like this, they'll actually destroy their country. So the only thing that they're supposed to do is to hold a convention. And it has to do very, very soon. Because they don't have time also. I think that's my submission.
Thank you very much, Mr. Msonda, for your contribution. And he was just advising the PF that they should have opted to do the right thing. Just is holding a convention, bringing everyone together, and then they resolve this matter via an elective conference, because the delays to do so has led to the confusion that we are seeing. And this is also confusing the nation. And now we are being diverted from equally other important issues.
He's advising them to go ahead and hold a convention. And yesterday, in a statement released by Mr. Given Lubinda, the expulsion statement, he said, you are being expelled. He was addressing Mr. SAMPA. You are being expelled from the party for being in breach of Regulation 29A, B, C, and D of the party constitution. Your gross misconduct in holding unauthorized and illegal extraordinary general conference is unfortunate, and you continue to defy the party directives. So the other thing, Soko, you have to get to understand that this is now a debate that we are going to see before the courts of law. Now Mr. SAMPA is going to claim that his convention was not illegal, but we have the other camp claiming that his convention was illegal, according in line with their party constitution. He
is also going to challenge the other decision that the expulsion, the suspension was illegal. Even the Central Committee meeting was illegal because
those people who are holding office are illegal in those positions.
So now the contestation of Mr. Chanda is that all illegal persons, if you are illegal, I'm illegal, then all illegal, everything then is now void. So we are draw at this but last step and 50-50. You understand? It's just where they are now, because I remember even prior when they were the PF was having its convention to elect former president Edgar Lungu at Mulungushi Local Authority in Kawe Central Province. Miriam, we did see these same things where this person filed an injunction, this person filed an injunction, and KBF will tell you the entire story about these injunctions and everything, and how the convention ended up taking place. And we saw the convention by way of lifting hands. Those who want the ECL, everyone else was raising their hands, and they went unopposed. So even in SAMPA, anyway, SAMPA had 3 other candidates, but I didn't have the privilege to know the other 2 candidates.
Anyway, let's get to interact with our viewers who are watching us live on Facebook, who say, we have Dominic Mbeo, who say, what has caused all the drama is the delay for PF to hold an extraordinary convention. In fact, SAMPA has made the PF's work easier. That's according to him. We have Collins, who says this is drama. We have Peter Mwanza, who says, talk about your party. I think he was addressing to a statement that was being made by Mr. Cornelius Muitwa, the UPND spokesperson. Yeah, quite interesting views there from our people who are watching us live on Facebook. Please, those who have just joined us, you can contribute to our conversation this morning, where we are looking at the Patriotic Front now being in split, where we saw yesterday that the expelled PF official, Mr. SAMPA, has now been elected as the party president.
I have a question for you. Sunday you were expelled. 2 days later, you managed to put up a convention of that magnitude. What background work has been going on? Your analysis.
I think, I'll tell you something. If you look at the current case that are before the courts of law, there's Mr. SAMPA's, I think, like 3 cases before the courts of law. And one of the case, he had requested that he had sued, in fact, he had dragged the Registrar of Society to court and requested the court that upon the court giving a ruling, the party should be ordered to hold its convention within 30 days. It doesn't matter which day they would want, but within 30 days they should hold. But we are yet to see the court giving a ruling with regards to that particular case. But another thing, it will tell you something, that if you look at these cases that are before the courts of law, it is something that Mr. SAMPA was preparing in the background. okay, because he has been advocating for the party to go for this convention. And, you know, we have seen that on the 28th of this month, they were supposed to hold, but they moved it further. So these are something that, you know, you're able to see that, okay, there was some underground work.
Underground work. Yeah. You are through to the Camnet Breakfast Show. Good morning.
Morning, how are you?
Fine, and how are you, sir? Your name and where you are calling us from?
Calling from Andola.
Good to hear that Ndola is watching. You can go ahead with your contribution, sir.
Okay. So for me, I will take the issue of the PF on two principles.
First principle.
So the first principle, it will go on intelligence and morality. Okay. So on the intellectual point of view, sometimes without being coupled with morality, we have problems. For example, if you know that you are popular, so to say, why can't you wait whatever angle this might be going on there? Why can't you wait for the right time? If they are saying, okay, wait for the convention and then issue you wait for it, but like taking yourself more like you impose yourself, you just let me go and give.
Are you still there? Oh, do call us back. Wanted to hear your two principles. You only mentioned one principle,
yes,
Miriam, and we were looking forward to get the other principle. He said he had two principles that he wanted to advise on this matter. But you too, our dear viewers, wherever you are watching us from your comfort of your homes, please do call us and give us your perspective, because your opinions matter and they may be instrumental towards us resolving some of these issues that are affecting the country. Now, if you have a...
Before I go back to my point, Patrick, we also have Felix, who says what happened in 2014 will not happen this time. Mao SAMPA is elected party president. We have Denzel, who says, but why they choose SAMPA? Just because he made material clean and you think he can be voted as president? Hello, good morning.
Yes.
You are through to the Camnet TV Breakfast Show. Who are we talking to?
Yes, you are talking to Moses P. calling you from Chipata, Eastern Province.
It's good to know that Chipata is watching us this morning. Please go ahead with your contribution.
Yes. The behavior of the mouse I chose it premature. Because if you cannot have a convention on the day of independence, it never applies to what happened to those guys who have wanted to protest on the day of National Prayer Day. This shows that these people, they are not leaders. They are not leaders, they are up something. So for me, I think Mao by being in a premature way. There is a way where you can solve some of these things. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your contributions, sir. There, and Miriam Kaimba, quite a perspective there.
Quite a perspective.
You were about to say something before.
Quite perspective, and just to I think even the previous caller was talking about something to do with morality.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it was supposed to fall in line with our second, it just ended caller.
So,
yeah.
Let's marry events. Now, when we talk about marrying events, let's move in this sequence. We saw the Registrar of Societies coming on board. Then they announced that political parties should put their houses in order and submit names of office bearers as required by the law. That was the Registrar of Society. The following day, we saw the PF holding a press conference and hinting that the press conference was targeted at them. And that the statement was targeted at them because they have that issue of office bearers, because they are yet to make those submissions because of the pending convention and these other issues. Are you getting the second move? Then we saw the next move was also played by the PF and went ahead to suspend Mao SAMPA and others. Then Mao SAMPA hit back and did a counter reaction by also holding a general conference. Now remember, I started with a point where we looked at the party not having the issue of the Registrar of Societies. Remember, then part of the activities that Mao SAMPA was undertaking yesterday, there was a strong mention of him submitting names of the the office bearers at the Registrar of Societies,
yes.
And that is today. Are you following the events as there are someone unfolding them?
Yeah.
Now, then the PF was opted to say we are going to the Registrar of Societies because the intention is also to challenge what Mao Sampa wants to do, because Mao Sampa may fall in and put those names there at the Registrar of Societies. Now, when you go to the Registrar of Societies, if Mao Sampa successfully does that, you'll be saying the people who are holding office is the Mao Sampa-led team. Are you getting where I'm heading to?
Hello, just hold your thought there. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. How are you?
We are fine, thank you, sir.
I think
How
that
are you?
is our Mr. Msonda.
Yes. I want to make a contribution on the program that is going on.
Please go ahead.
For me, I strongly condemn the action of Mao Sampa. Mao Sampa is very mature. That kind of behavior is very dangerous for an institution like the party. Second, it's also a danger to the nation. If people can succumb to such leaders like the way Mao Sampa is behaving, then we're not changing anything. Then secondly, the Registrar of Society, I think they know their mandate. Let them not hang into the affairs of the party. Let the parties act or operate independently. I think that, at the end of the day, what is affecting the people, the PF, and then other parties in the country, affects the nation at large. So in every institution, there are procedures, rules, and regulations to follow. Mao Sampa should not be so hasty in trying to ascend to power by whatever means. That general conference, for the lack of a better, you go in the general conference. Even a child, a kid, it's a predetermined life. Of course, the person who makes the winner was Mao Sampa. And you call such a general conference. For me, I still feel I'm not going to point the fingers or another party. There is a hand that is working for Mao Sampa. Because holding a general conference, even if it's a sharp general conference, there is a huge expense that is involved to organize such an event. So the question is, if he's using his own money, it's well and fine. But that is a total waste of money. There are so many needs, there are so many people that need to be helped. Using the same resources he was wasting yesterday at the general conference. And I feel sad that the police can even go and demand such a wrong event to activity on a day like the Independence Day. When the manpower was the most needed all around the country, it's a shame. I don't even know at what time the giving a price for the payment. I don't even know at what time was that payment guaranteed. For me, I cry for Mother Zambia. It's not about the state getting into power. It's not about any political party getting somewhere. But what I feel is, let's be civil. Politics must be politics that makes sense for the country. Politics that is going to inspire the new generation. I, for one, if I was Mao Sampa's relative or friend, I would sit him down and cancel him. Otherwise, he's behaving totally immature. He's been the president, he's been the current MP, he's been the deputy minister of finance. We don't expect such a behavior. Now, I just feel, even when he was appointed as deputy finance minister, I think people just didn't show the behavior of such kind of a leader. He's a young man, he's well known in the country. We expect him to use his popularity very well for the betterment of the country, for the betterment of his constituents, for the betterment of everyone. I think let's move the umbrella of the PF as the party. Let's look at people that are serving the people in general. Every political party, the name is just a name, UPN is just a name, F just a name, Social is just a name. The key thing, the people that are in those particular parties, those are the ones we have to look at. The individualities of those people. They are people who are there to serve the masses. There are people who are there to make this country run better. So for me, I cry for Mao Sampa, I cry for the nation, that the leader can think so low. And our servicemen, honestly, can they spend the time to serve the nation, to go and demand that kind of equality? That is very sad. Mother Zambia, and we think as this country was supposed to go. We are wasting God's time. We end up putting lawyers and judges in question because of such irregularities. Now, some was appointed by the same given of the claim to be illegal. Why didn't he say no? All the question that Mao Sampa is voting in the PF was given to him by given. But today, you turn out to say, no, we are going to say. Finally, I commend you for bringing up such programs. You are just there to enlighten the nation, which is very commendable. Thank you so much that I'm able to speak to the nation. But for Mao Sampa, for me, say no. He's just wasting his time, and I pray to God that God save. That is nothing. Doesn't go and push the country. Then such that should entertain. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your contribution, sir. We value every contribution that comes through on the Camnet Breakfast Show. You too can share your opinion on the Camnet Breakfast Show so that we get to discuss things that are happening in the country.
Exactly, and let's just get engaged our Facebook viewers. We have Rollins who said, Bwana Sampa wakuleka fye ndiye muntu. We have John who says, the lightning only strike once. We have Kumwenda who says MMD in opposition was equally shared to its death.
That's the point.
That's the point, yeah.
That's the point, Miriam.
And one thing, Patrick Soko, before you come in, you know, a lot of people just receiving calls, you'll find that a lot of people were shocked, like on such a day that Zambia was celebrating its anniversary of the 59th independence. We did see this shock event being taking place.
Yeah, it's shocking because I don't think that was an important day. We put political issues aside, differences aside. We reflect on the liberation struggle and the timing.
Do you think it was a strategy because he knew that, okay, independence and people are busy?
While you're focusing on this other thing, then whatever the case, but this is the confusion we're talking about, Miriam.
Exactly.
Now, I was explaining to you, you followed the sequence of how events unfolded, eh? So we have now the issue of registrar societies. Like our previous caller said, now these cases are usually complicated, Miriam Kaimba, because you know when they are taken to court like this, they expose courts and everything.
Hello, good morning.
Constitution of PF.
Hello, good morning.
PF provides that if a president resigns or is out of that office as a past president, automatically the general secretary will go as a president. Now what happened at PF, the president himself resigned, which was the ethical rule. Then subsequently, even the SG also resigned, which was Davis rule. So by virtue of that, it shows that at PF they should automatically go for convention because there is no now president. Because when the president resigns, the SG should go there as the president. Now the SG resigned and the president resigned. So automatically for their constitution, they should go for convention. So we've done their friends or whatever the president they are holding. So those two were totally illegal. And if the SG was not he didn't resign, then he was supposed to be president. Now they two resigned. That's why even the registrar society, I doubt what they went, because the constitution of PF has also a clause which says when they are in power, for a person to be recruited in civil service, he should be a PF member. That's because it's in the constitution of PF. Why can they allow that? If this party is in power, then the civil servant can be only recruited those who are PF members. The clause is there in their constitution. So all those things can be changed. So now SAMPA could be right. Automatically could be right. Those people who are holding those offices are illegal on those offices. And they have no mandate to even appoint other office bearers. No, because there is no SG there is no president, all those they are just active. So Mount SAMPA could be right, and this event, we'll see how to unfold. We'll see how to unfold because Mount SAMPA has a ground for holding that convention. I think I'm closer.
So we did not get your name and where you're calling us from.
Miami, calling from Florida.
Thank you very much for your contribution.
Soko, his argument, these are some of the arguments that Mr. Mao Sampa had put up before the courts of law, where he said Mr. Raphael, given Lubinda and Nixon Chilangwa, then when he was the SG of the party, they were illegally holding those positions, because his argument was the same, that immediately the former president resigned from the party, and Davis Mwila automatically meant that the party had no leader to lead it, had no leadership.
You know, Miriam, this is an interesting case. The one that, in fact, Mr. Mtondas did just very well. This case is complicated to the extent that it will expose our lawyers, it will expose our judges, it will there will be a lot of issues here. Yes. Because I know both teams have explored the weaknesses
yes.
and the lapses to use when this matter, because this matter definitely is going to court.
It is.
So this matter is definitely going to court. So me telling you this, Mkemba, political parties are not political party wrangles are not better resolved in courts.
No,
because history has shown us that the court is not, especially the court like in Zambia, where cases drag for over 15 years.
A year, 2 years. You'll find that by the time they are resolving your year, we are going toward the 2026 general election.
Let's get, for example, the case involving where we had the former army commander who was acquitted. How long did that case take for it to be disposed of?
It took almost 4 or 5 years.
5 years. Almost the entire career of you as a journalist,
Yes.
MKM. And now imagine, this is the battle again the PF will be getting itself in. I hope you're understanding what I mean.
But maybe they will request for agency, given the fact that they need to know the position of the party, and then we are moving.
If you lose 1 year, if we work with agency, you lose out 1 year. It's a lot. It's a lot of time.
Yes, for a political party, because you're talking about you, Patrick Soko, ensuring that you are on the ground and you mobilize people.
Today you appear, they will adjourn to next month. Today you appear, they will adjourn to after 2 months. Today you appear, the next date will be after 3 months. You appear, the date will be after 1 month. How long are you going to take? You understand? So if we do our homework very well, Miriam Kaimba, I can assure you that this is a very difficult position where the PF is finding itself in. But part of the problem, I think, is self-inflicted, because if you see the advice they have been getting from political analysts to say, you people, in fact, they had done very well. They had made progress. They had even set the dates for the convention and everything. Yeah. Zambians don't understand why they had to change. They had even put the date on the birthday of, the death day of the late President Michael Sata, which they have suspended.
Yeah.
And they have to reconvene afterwards to decide the next date for the convention.
What does this mix of the UPND? Because we did, the PF, we did see them, telling us they're going through the rebranding process. But this is like
what have they
a step
changed?
back.
What have they changed? Those are the questions they need to be asking themselves. What have they changed? What have they worked on? Have they reconciled with the grassroots? Are the grassroots endorsing this confusion they are seeing? For example, we have now Mr. SAMPA led the party, and we have Mr. Rubin. What is the ground saying on this subject? We did host some people from on the ground here, among the founder members of PF. One of them is Julius Komaki. He was not happy with the way things were being handled in the party. You see? We had the others like Madam Charity Banda we hosted on this program. They were also not happy area when the way matters in the party were being handled. So, are you going to the grassroots to make sure that you get that consolidated voice to bring everyone on board and make sure that everyone is running behind you?
Other stakeholders would want to argue that this is the end of the party, looking at the unfolding situation at the moment. Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Who are we talking to this morning? Come again? Please go ahead with your contribution, sir.
Okay, thank you. I'll meet you. What is happening here is because of the that we are still in. You need to ask what I'm doing. So it's what he's looking for. The one is not that. But for the one, this one is thinking that Alaja, you are Alaja. No, that's the issue now. Let me tell you that be a responsible country. No. You have to check on that detail to get wanting to go in. But you are stopped to go in. What does it show? UPF members support. It shows that those guys are
the line is bad. I think the line is bad and we are unable to get most of the things, but please do find a better position to call us, then we get interacting as we wind up. We're just remaining with a few minutes before we wind up.
Exactly. We also have Ernest Mumba who is watching us live on Facebook. He says, why government allow police to guard this event on Independence Day? We have Collins Muloba, who says Mao SAMPA behavior is uncalled for. He is inspiring or motivating. He is inspiring or motivating as young people. His conduct is mischievous and not good. We also have Christopher Changwe, who says what is happening in Zambia is not good. Whoever is sponsoring SAMPA should know that even his party will be in confusion one day. Quite interesting. We have Mwanza, who says what cards did he pull for the government to permit such activities on such an important day? We have Mulenga, who says only the strong will survive. If the PF are not careful, they will end up like UNIP or MMD. We have Progress, who says PF is dead.
Yeah, look, Miriam, I think the various comments people are able to see. People understand the political context of Zambia.
Yeah.
They understand it very well. We saw, for example, under the MMD, when the MMD was going smooth, it should have been with Never Smooth, but is it? We saw the coming of former President Arabi.
Yes.
The late president, may his soul rest in peace. He came on board and says, wanted to vie for the presidency and opted for the MMD. It is Mr. Banda, then Mr. Banda, after Mr. Banda pulled his supporters back, then Mr. Banda went in an alliance with former President Edgar Lungu. And thanks to the MMD, that's how the PF managed to win. Because the MMD and Rupia Banda and rather Felix Mtati went to be in an alliance with the MMD, with the PF. You remember very well, Miriam.
Yes.
And this alliance, we saw the MMD here and another MMD that is in an alliance. You saw that confusion. You saw it, isn't it? But where did it take the former ruling party? It took them into oblivion. They are no longer a significant political party to talk about in this country.
Yeah.
So, but however, for democracy to thrive, it needs strong institutions. And the strong institutions, we talk about strong opposition. Now, if the PF, I don't know who is the political, who are the people behind the how do we call them? Political strategists for the PF. I don't know if they are doing enough because, for example, I understand, for example, Mr. Zimba also had resigned. You remember that he was the advisor for former President Edgar Lungu.
Yes.
But they needed, I think they also needed a political advisor who is very experienced.
Definitely. And when you look at them claiming that they are going through the rebranding process, meaning they had put all those factors in place.
Yeah, but have we spoken to the political advisor? Each political party, these political advisors and everything, they have a role to play in a political party.
Exactly.
Miriam Kaimba.
Exactly.
They have to tell you to say, this move that is being played by our opponents may lead us into this. Or you should be able to anticipate in time. Just like we play football, you know that your opponents are using this strategy. You have to see how do we counter this strategy to emerge victorious. If you're not going to do that, if you're not preparing for them, you are going under. But
you know, now people have to analyze, or the party rather, the Patriotic Front have to analyze that now with this confusion, it will automatically require them to go back to court and, you know, fight for who is the legitimate president, office bearer of the party. And now we are talking about time consuming.
Again, those people, they are acting.
Exactly.
Who is going to be legitimate? And you see now the confusion.
And we have only few time for us to, you know, to go to 2026. We are talking about the rebranding process they told us about. We are talking about them, you know, going on the ground, ensuring that they mobilize people, okay, so that they can come back strong in 2026. But are we able to see all those things if with this confusion? So I'm sure this is something that they, you know, they need to sit back and reflect on the next step they need to do. Because definitely, yes, the party is one of the biggest opposition political party that we have in the country. And now it gives us, you know, I'll tell you this, Patrick, it might give the Socialist Party room to emerge as the biggest opposition political party in the country because of this confusion that is currently happening. Yeah.
Interesting. Our dear viewers, we want to thank you and appreciate you for today. those of you who managed to give us that call and be able to give you analysis on the subject, we thank you very much. And those of you who have been watching us on our social media platform, we thank you for your support, and we do not take that for granted. And every time we are live, make sure that you like our page and also share with others. But this is where we have to call it a day on the Camnet Breakfast Show. Remember to always keep it on Camnet TV, not just another channel. This has been Patrick Soko and my co-host Miriam Kaimba.